Joshua, why are Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens so popular? I was recently asked. And I want to share my view on this because I think you're going to learn something about influencers, kind of a behind the scenes experience here of Daily Persuasion with Joshua Lisec. Many of you know that I have ghostwritten for, let's say, a butt ton of individuals. In fact, if you added them all up, it would probably weigh exactly that much. I just finished writing my 110th book since 2011. I am what some suggest being a machine. I'm also a professional certified hypnotist, and I have private clients in that regard as well. And I will often merge the two professions, ghostwriting and hypnosis. That said, I have witnessed over the years how content creators evolve their brands and adjust their brands. Roughly, there are 1,000 true fans. This is the hypothesis. This is my working hypothesis that I believe will allow you to predict how influencers going to move, whether they be Ben Shapiro or Tucker Carlson on opposite sides of the Zionist question. Coming back to Candace and Tucker, or Candace and Nick Fuentes, whom, by the way, for fun, we are jokingly calling, not jokingly, Nicolas Fuentes, pronouncing it like an NPR commentator who doesn't speak a language, but has to perfectly overpronounce, exaggerate the pronunciation of a local language or dialect to make them sound like they're smarter than they are. Coming back to Nick and Candace. In years past, Nick has had some abominable content, in my opinion, me personally. Does that mean he should not have First Amendment rights? Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. That said, he has seemingly taken a very different turn recently towards something like mainstream almost. And you've seen him on mainstream and mainstream adjacent shows. I think he was on Patrick Bet-David's show. He was on Tucker Carlson, of course, and he was on the Red Scare podcast. That was an interesting experience because one of the actresses who co-hosts that was canceled, literally canceled over having him on. That said, in my experience as a ghostwriter, what I have witnessed is there's roughly 1,000 true fans. These are the people who they spend the most on merch. They are the loudest feedback providers. They're kind of trusted. There's a symbiotic relationship between these consumers of the content and the content creator. And this is true across niches, whether it's political content or it's yoga on the internet, yoga classes on the internet. It's everything I've seen. Even lawyers and surgeons who have a platform and advocate for things, they are not immune to this, ironically. And so what we'll witness is the content creator, the influencer, will often think, what do I need to say? What do my 1,000 true fans, roughly speaking, need to hear in order to continue supporting me? And how can I get more of those true fans? And so it's a little bit of audience participatory puppeteering. What do you want me to say? And then you listen, you pay attention. It's a symbiotic relationship. And it's not explicit. It's not explicit. But creators, myself included, we are not immune to follow the money. We are not immune to that. Fortunately or unfortunately, we are not immune. And so what will happen over time is as those 1,000 true fans or so, they change. And it may not always be 1,000. Sometimes it's 500. Sometimes it's 100. Sometimes it's fewer than 50, even a dozen. But the 1,000 true fans concept, I think, was popularized by Kevin Kelly over the years. That's who you look for, is the people who spend approximately $1,000 a year minimum on your stuff. That's your $1 million, okay, a year in revenue, gross revenue. There's the creator's equivalent for that. It could be a combination of advertisers, your longest running subscribers, but the influencers are being influenced by their audience. And then they in turn influence the broader audience. And the idea is, how can I attract more of the people who spend $1,000 a year on my stuff? Now, again, that's not exactly literal or precise. It's directionally accurate. This is my hypothesis. I'm not saying this is true. I'm saying these are my observations. These are my views, my perspective, my opinion, based on what I observe. Please let me know in the comments if you observe this as well. And it doesn't have to be a political niche. It can be someone is altering their views based on who their audience is. So as the audience churns and has their 1,000 true fans, there's a revolving door in some cases. They will adjust to that. And it's not necessarily nefarious or direct or explicit, but follow the money happens. Audience participatory puppeteering. That's what this is. And that's what I'm calling, and I'm calling it like I see it.